What's happening? My name is Albert. I'm back. I'm back to talk about yet another, but this time paralyzing inflammatory bout. It happened yesterday, but I like to do a little review so that it can lead me to this point for my records. And so I faced inflammatory problems 20 years ago and saw doctors for 2 years and went crazy during those 2 years because they were giving me all this stuff and they couldn't find out what the hell was going on. And I'm under all this freaking pain, man. This inflammatory pain is real pain, real deep within. And so, I'm seeing all these different doctors, maybe 11, maybe 12, maybe 13, I don't even know. And so at the end, they sent me home. They told me your set rate is high, but we can't figure out why. And they said sorry and they sent me home. And so, from that point, I took nature's path and I healed myself from that big problem naturally, man. Greens, lots of watermelons, fasting, and I got really deep into herbs at the time. And so I took care of it back then, maybe 20 years ago like that, and it went away for many years and came back about 6 months ago in the form of a swollen ankle. And so the swollen ankle was just so reminiscent of what had happened 20 years ago that I chalked it up to it being the same problem that wore its face once again in a different way, but it's the same thing. And so I dealt with the swollen ankle and I made videos about that. I healed it naturally and I explained how. But here I am to talk about this paralyzing pain that I faced yesterday. And the reason why I call it paralyzing is because I was literally paralyzed, bro. And I'll tell you what happened. I'm going about the day fine. I was with friends at the time during the afternoon, and at about 4 o'clock or something like that, we had dinner, and then we went for coffee, and maybe at about 6 o'clock or something like that, I started to feel that my fingers were clamming up. They felt so clammy, and I started to feel a pain right here. And this pain right here started to make me feel like, wow, this is pretty uncomfortable. And it kept getting worse and worse all the way to the point where I felt as though this bone right here, you see it? This bone was freaking so huge yesterday and it hurt like right in there. It hurt so much. Now, I'm freaking just, oh my God, what the hell is going on? And so I'm not pretty much thinking about anything, the cause or anything like that, what happened, where it's from. I'm just, I guess, surprised that I'm freaking being faced with this freaking pain. And so the pain, right, over the course of like 2 or 3 hours got so freaking bad, bro, that I could not freaking clench. I cannot grab anything, man. I cannot put my hands in my pocket because I cannot open my hand. I did not have hand mobility to do this like I'm doing now, yesterday. And so I can't put my hands in my pocket. I could not put my arms to the side too because it will hurt. And so now I go home, right? And I'm faced to freaking be home like that without really knowing what to do because like I freaking can't. I tried cutting a watermelon. It was freaking almost impossible to cut a watermelon because you have to grab the knife and you have to pull down. I did not have that capability. Nearly went crazy trying to manage that little bit, man. And so I hung it up and I laid down, and I laid down only to face pain that I've never experienced before, bro. This inflammatory pain freaking boils, man. It was throbbing, and in this whole area, I was freaking paralyzed. Like I could not even take the sheets and to put them over me because that hurt. Like I could not do this. And I'm still having pain through here, pain through here, pain through here, pain through here. Still, the pain runs this way through my neck, all the way to my knees, to my ankle bones, bro. Now, the ankle problem, man, when it had happened, I started to make these videos so that I could keep a history of what's going on, because I like to keep a tab on what happens to me, because I'll be 61 soon. And so if this turns out to be something that I am going to face as a aging person, then I want to be able to just keep record of a lot of the things that I'm documenting for a really good reason, which I'll get into later. But now, let me tell you the rest, right? So now, I can't put my hands in my pocket. I struggled to take my shirt off. I struggled to take my pants off, bro. I could not do it, man. When I mean struggle, it's like the thumb power. You know, there's a certain thumb power. It's amazing how I realize how much the thumb is so freaking important. The power of the thumb is used for everything, bro. To grab a cup, to pull your pants down, and to also put them up. You need your thumbs, man. But I had no thumb power, bro. And so I was freaking lack of thumb power. And so I wasn't scared. I just faced it and couldn't sleep. The pain was overbearing. I almost went to the pharmacy to get a very, very powerful pain reliever, but I didn't do that, because if I do that and I wake up better, then I will maybe think that it was the aspirin. I won't be so sure that it was just me that got better, because sometimes those pain relievers can make you feel like you're getting better, but it's the same. It's just the pain reliever doing its job, making you feel better, but you're not really, any better. And so I didn't take it. So I elected to stay in pain, only because now that I woke up feeling so much better, and I do have thumb power and finger power. I could not do this yesterday at all. I was like this. And so now that I have, this ability, which means that whatever had happened yesterday is gotten better on its own accord without taking anything whatsoever. So that is very important for me to convey. So now I can't sleep. Forget about it, bro. I close my eyes and I go blank. I use all my meditation experiences to just be with it. And I was with the pain. And while I was with the pain, it was just with it. And so it's not that it's pain or not pain. It's just that I'm just with it. And so that's it. And so now that I'm with the pain, I see 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 in the morning, and then I did crash. When I swallow right now, I have to report when I swallow, I feel like this pain that's coming from some type of a muscle through here. So anyway, I woke up this morning already planning on not taking my normal setup to the coffee shop, because I take a computer to work on these videos, and I have a whole bunch of stuff that I take that requires a bag and stuff like that, and it's like, I can't do that. I can't grab anything. And so I just felt as though I was just gonna go to the coffee shop barehanded and just sit there and struggle to have a cup of coffee, because to grab it was a struggle. This is what I meant by paralyzing feel, because I felt paralyzed. And so, okay, so now when I wake up in the morning, I noticed that I could move around a lot better. Not good, but a lot better. And I was going to cancel my morning meditation only because it felt like in this state, I felt you freaking like almost useless, man. And so I also could not take a bath. Like, I canceled the idea of taking a bath because I can't do this. I could not reach under my arm. Like this here that I'm doing, I could not do yesterday. And so I decided to go ahead and meditate, only because I feel a lot during meditation. I'm more sensitive to what's going on, and I got to see a lot while I sat there. And so I sit for about an hour or so, right? So I'm meditating and doing my breathing exercises, and that helps figure out what's okay and what's not. And so with the breathing, I'm breathing deep, and I see that, okay, my ab area is okay, my back is okay, although it bothered me a little bit. But I started to see that when it came to me doing a certain type of stretches that requires me to put my hands on my lap to stretch, I could not do it, man. I could do it just a little bit, like right now. What I'm doing now, I couldn't do yesterday. I could do a little bit like this, right? A very little bit, was very, very slow and gentle, but underhand, once I do this, I couldn't. And so I'm still struggling, although I'm able to move it a lot more than yesterday. And so now what the hell is going on, man? What does this really mean? What is this adding up to? And it's a freaking similar flare-up due to food. Food is freaking food, man. What we have for dinner, my friends ordered plant-based vegan food, bro. It took me straight to the problem that I had 20 years ago, where I had to stay away from all artificial stuff, any type of ingredients with blue dyes or aspartame, or any type of chemical whatsoever that they use in food. I had to stay away. I knew that then. And the ankle problem was probably something along those lines that triggered it again. This problem here, it didn't hit me in the ankle area, it hit me in the upper limb area. So it just could be that the inflammatory triggers happens somewhere in the body because it's a migratory inflammation, which means it moves around in different areas and the pain is wherever. It could be in the leg, it could be in the ankles, it could be in the knees, it could be, it's all kinds of places. So that's why it's called migratory inflammation. And so that's that. And so now, this food here, whatever I ate a lot of it. And so that chemical, they must have freaking had a feast with that chemical. Because I know it was that. And I know it for a fact now because I'm so much better. Because I drank so much water with oregano oil. Man, now getting up to go to the bathroom, bro. I'm drinking a whole bunch of water with oregano oil, man. And that's making me go to the bathroom. And the struggle to go to the bathroom, bro, is freaking incredible, bro. And so now I'm sitting here with a pain that's manageable. I could get up, I can go out, I could eat. I ate today. And so now I sit here and I can't work out. I can't do push-ups, bro, at all. I can't do anything. I'm going to try to do abs later on, maybe. I think I'll be able to manage through, but I'm not sure. I want to be able to move the body, man. And so now this is something very important for me to convey, man. When I face the swollen ankle, during that time, it feels like it's over, man. I felt like my leg workouts were over, bro, because the pain was so bad. It felt like it was going to last forever. And so I just want to share that. Look at my leg. Look at how terrible, how inflamed it is here. And then I want to post a few leg workouts to help me out now because I feel like it's freaking over, man. But it's not. The pain is freaking so bad that I felt like my bones are so fragile that they may snap in half. And so, seeing these leg workouts after such a terrible swollen ankle and the pain just assures me that I'll be able to freaking be back on track as soon as it goes away, which it is, man. This is day number 1, and so I'm reporting day number 1. And so now I want to share some insights about this ordeal, because many, if they face what I faced yesterday, they'll go straight to outside help. Most likely they'll go home with something. They'll have to take something wherever. And so now, here's the problem that I see. That many people won't be able to point to food like I did. Because it's food. They won't be able to correlate anything. Most. And so, me being able to know that it's food, the many that would seek outside help will face a loophole of problems, man. And one of the problems is that once they're given something to take for the problem, and then they'll continue to eat in the same manner that caused the problem. And then they'll be just juggling the two freaking problems between medication and eating what's causing the problem, and then going back saying, oh, it's not gone, and then taking something else and something else and something else. And I've seen, because I've worked in the medical profession, I've seen problems like this last for years. And so now I don't have to do that, but it's so important for me to convey, because my point is to give the body, the system, or the situation a chance to unravel itself, and to at least try to find out if there was just something that had happened that caused it, which is a very smart path to go. And then, of course, after I do all of that, and I see that everything that I'm doing is not bringing any type of results, then I'll go and seek outside help. You see what I'm saying? So it's in that order, and not, oh my God, there's so much pain. Go see somebody. They go, oh my God, oh, the pain is so bad. Can you give me something? Okay, yes, take this and take this 3 times a day and this 3 times a day. And then, you're just sitting there with this pain in different degrees. And like here, the way I freaking made progress from yesterday, from 5, 6, 7 o'clock to now, is incredible. It's not even 24 hours yet since yesterday, which means that this is a marker that by tomorrow at this time, I'm probably going to be able to do a nice mini workout with light dumbbells. And so now the next aspect that I need to address is bombardment, which I discussed during the swelling of the ankle. And I realized that 20 years back. Bombardment means, and a lot of people never don't really think this way, bombardment means the things that I'm eating throughout the day, whether a lot or a little, it could be bombardment for the system, because the system is constantly fighting for us. That's what it does. That's its only job, is fighting the pollutants, is fighting if water is bad, it'll fight that. And, the coffee and everything, man. Every single thing we eat, it goes into the system, and the body goes, oh my God, and it's fighting. So it never gets a chance to rest. And so because it never gets a chance to rest, this bombardment causes it to get burdened, and then it chokes up. When it chokes up, the immune system goes, oh my God, we're screwed. And so what it does is that it freaking collapses, and then it faces something like this. I'm not sure, and I'll never be sure, that if my immune system was kicking in really strong, if it would have been able to handle yesterday's food. I don't know. This brings me to this video that I saw about this guy who had fasted for 3 days. And while he's reflecting on his fast, he came across this point where he said something similar to what I'm saying, where the body is freaking taking on a load every day. The breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and this, and that is taking on such a load. And he said what he realized was that when he gave his body a chance to rest, that it was freaking able to now cleanse itself, heal itself. It had time to relax, and it had the power to go in there to take care of a lot of the things that it just couldn't before, because it's constantly being bombarded. He said that, and I don't think a lot of people could think that way. They can't, because as soon as they hear fasting, oh, it's starvation, the body's starving itself, and that's so unhealthy. It goes into shock. They can't imagine that the body, it needs rest. The brain needs rest. If you're thinking, you go crazy, bro. So really, that's part of the real big problem out there with all the mental stuff, is because the freaking mind can't shut itself down. And so because it doesn't shut down, it freaking goes crazy. It goes into overdrive, and then there goes all those freaking mental problems. And so the mind needs rest. The body needs rest. And so bombardment is very important, because this here, it kind of takes care of the yin and yangs of all the things that may happen at different degrees. This here may explain why, at one time I ate something and I was able to just feel a little something and just be okay. And that at another time, having that same thing will freaking knock me down, but terribly bad. And that's because the body, when it's bombarded to that point, it loses its ability to defend itself. It can't fight anymore, and so it gives up. And so if there's a lot of stress going on, and if there's something going around, because I happen to get hit with yesterday's paralyzing inflammation around a whole bunch of my friends that were sick, that got over all kinds of stuff. And so then I also got over getting sick too. And so I got hit with this at that time, so it makes a lot of sense to put this together, man. And so now, this covers this episode. What I'm going to do is wait 3-4 days. If I get better, I'll just make a better video in 4 or 5 days. If I get worse or something comes along, I'll make a video sooner so that I can keep a tab on what's happening with this. And these tabs that I'm taking, because the last ankle thing was about 5 months ago, and so that's not bad. And so this shows me, okay, now from this point it hit me this way, and so I got the ankle way, and I got the way it happened 20 years ago, and then now I have this way, which is the shoulder areas here. This area is really bad. The elbows, can't exercise, can't do this, couldn't stretch. Right here, the freaking bone in there hurts. And so it hit me in that sense. And so therefore, I get to monitor what's going on. And so from this point, after it gets better, I am going to keep that bombardment thing a little bit more at the forefront. And this means that if I don't face another inflammatory thing for 6, 7 months, 8 months, and then maybe get another one around there, then I did a lot better. And so then I could take course, and then I could go ahead. Ultimately, I know it's the freaking diet, the way I eat. The problem is, man, is that there's a lot that I could get away with. Like, I could get away with ice cream more now when I couldn't before. 20 years ago, I couldn't. I could get away with eating different things. And so this is the problem, because I have to troubleshoot my way, and so that I'm not a freaking rabbit. I don't want to be a rabbit, man. I was already a rabbit. I did that. I had to eat so strict for a really long time, which is cool, but I do not want to live that strict life. I don't want to do it. I want to have coffee. I want to have all kinds of stuff, man. And I want to be able to know and get this feeling of what I could afford and what I can't afford. And so although the inflammatory thing is freaking paralyzing, I'm going to now face it and see what I could do to manage a way so that I can keep my diet in check and do things in a way where I know, okay, well, yesterday I ate like this, so now I'll really eat this. I'll eat more fruits and really have a nice balance of the things that I'm putting into my system. And so this covers the relapse. This covers my relapse. And so that's it for now. And until the next one, catch up.